You know from the title of this video that I'm going to be focusing on Crystal Palace, which is unusual. I don't think I have ever made a video discussing any English team on this channel at all. But something very special is happening at Crystal Palace as we speak. On the eve of Gareth Southgate naming his 26-man squad for Euro 2024, there are a group of players at Palace in the form of their lives in arguably the informed team in the league who we really need to talk about. Could these players actually hold the key to success for England to win their first European trophy? So the four players I want to talk about are Mitchell, Eze, Wharton and Olise. Let's first address the elephant in the room, and that is 22-year-old Olise. He is born and raised in England. He was born in Hammersmith, London, to a Nigerian father and a French-Algerian mother. So he could play for Nigeria, Algeria, France or England. He has committed playing for England at youth level. I believe he's been playing for the French teams since 2019, but he is yet to commit to a senior cap for any nation, so he is open to playing for any of those four countries. What a player he would be for England to acquire. I believe where you're raised has a huge impact on your cultural and national identity. I really do. Even more so, tenfold more than your parents' nationality or where you are born. Where you are raised, if you think about it, helps you to form your ethical values. It's your friendship group, it's the language you speak, the accent, the whole culture, everything about where you are raised, for me, plays the biggest part in a person's nationality and identity. Now, I'm not from a mixed race background, so it's very difficult for me to comment on this fully, but what I'm essentially saying here is that there is a clear, strong incentive for Olise to represent England at senior level that maybe put it above a France, Algeria or Nigeria, for example. But that's my opinion. Olise may completely disagree with that. Like I said, he has been representing France at youth level. I have tried to look online to see any sorts of comments from Olise regarding his nationality, but I can't seem to find any. So can Gareth Southgate convince him to play for England at this summer's Euros? The second player I want to talk about is Eze, and the reason why I'm going to come onto him quite quickly is the fact that these two players, Eze and Olise, are both very attacking-minded midfielders. They play high up the pitch. Eze, unlike Olise though, does have two England caps to his name, so has played for the national team before. There's no doubt that both players are in fantastic form in arguably the most informed team in the league. The problem they both have though is that they are playing in areas of the pitch where there is an absolute abundance, and I mean an abundance, of talent for England to choose from. In those attacking areas, forget which side they play wide or whatever, but in those attacking areas outside of the striker, you've got Bellingham, Foden, Saka, Palmer, Grealish. The list could go on and on and on. And that is the difficulty in including these players in a 26-man squad. Never mind the fact trying to convince Olise to represent England in the first place. But they are, at the minute, playing too good and too well for Gareth Southgate to ignore, surely. But Palace are that little churning England producing factory at the moment, and the other two players that I mentioned at the start of this video we also need to talk about. Tyreek Mitchell in particular, another player who I believe got two England caps to his name previously, is now playing in the form of his life. Again, a strong Palace team, I'm going to keep saying that. This is a team that's absolutely firing, and Mitchell is playing in an area of the pitch where we are weak. This is one of England's key weak areas. Luke Shaw still being injured. Chilwell really not impressing in those last two England fixtures against Brazil and Belgium. Tyreek Mitchell at that wing-back role, left-back side, is really in with a shout of going to the Euros because we are so light in that area of the pitch. He's great going forward. He's solidly defensive at the back. And he's just one who I think, out of these four, is probably going to sneak on the plane, and is a player that not many people have been talking about. On my live stream, we've been looking at who can play left back. We've been looking at Gomez, could Trippier or Walker play left back? Mitchell surely has to come in, playing in that position, scoring goals actually as well. Finally, we've got to talk about Adam Wharton, 19-year-old central midfielder. We have all seen what Kobe Mainoo was able to do when he was given the opportunity. A lot of people were saying he's too young, too inexperienced. If you're good enough, you're you're old enough. It's as simple as that for me. Mainoo did fantastic, and he's almost made himself a shoo-in for the Euro squad, which arguably then goes against Wharton. The idea that Gareth Southgate is going to pick two teenagers in central midfield it's not, is it? He's not going to do it. But Wharton is playing an area of the pitch where England are light. England are very light. A lot of people don't want Henderson going. A lot of people don't want Gallagher going, particularly again after, like Chilwell, his performances against Brazil in particular was so poor. Wharton is playing the best football at the right time, but it's probably going to come a little bit too soon for him. But there's without a doubt a talent there for the future in an area of the pitch where England are really lacking. And certainly a player that's going under the radar. I haven't seen anybody talk about Wharton apart from a few Palace fans. The important thing I want to point out here is that Crystal Palace currently have a pool of players who are English or potentially English, playing regularly for each other in areas of the pitch where England are light and some areas not so. But can Gareth Southgate really ignore almost a central core spine of a team that is English, arguably playing the best football in the Premier League at the moment, and individual players in absolutely great form? I've not even mentioned Will Hughes, who's an English player who no one ever talks about, but he's played over 30 games, I believe, for Palace this season. And Palace again, I'm saying it again, have had a great season. Why hasn't Will Hughes been any sort of topic of discussion in regards to getting a place on Southgate's plane? I do not know. But he's the fifth player who could potentially come in. I do believe Mitchell is going to go. I do believe that, given the fact of where he is playing and the injuries and performance concerns we've got in that area of the pitch. I think for the other three, though, two of the players, Eze and Olise, it's probably the positions that they're fighting for that is going to restrict them potentially receiving a call up from Gareth Southgate. Kobe Mainoo's performance and the fact that England are pretty inexperienced in central midfield anyway is probably going to mean it's going to come a little bit too early for Wharton, and Southgate will of course want to go for a Henderson, Gallagher, someone a little bit more trusted. There is no doubt though, England's talent pool at the moment is outrageous, absolutely outrageous. These players in almost any other generation would have been coming into this squad, or certainly going as part of a 26-man squad, but such is the talent that England have at the minute, and I am saying this as an England fan, but even the hardened, neutral or enemy of England would not disagree with what I'm saying here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Palace fans, am I right? Am I wrong? Are any of these players going to get a spot in the Euro squad? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all on my next video.